Welcome to the Beer Nonsense Podcast. Billy and Z just quit on me, sadly. Actually, gratefully, fuck both of you.
I'm glad you're starting at these awkward moments every time now.
Yeah. Well, boys, it's episode 6. Why did we miss last week, Billy?
Because you're a bitch.
Man, we actually hung out for the 4th.
Yeah, they're all together.
Billy lives
Had
about
some brewskis.
2 hours away from us.
Yeah, like two
So
and a half.
he doesn't come out too often.
Yeah, went out and we hung out.
We watched a really bad movie. Props to Brad.
Just
we couldn't
one.
find our.
Oh, okay. No, I was gonna say we watched a couple movies.
Yeah, no, but one really bad movie.
So before we get into that one, so last week we just said we were in person for the 4th, and we were going to do an in-person podcast. Obviously, we've had mic issues already, so we wanted to try to deal with the audio on that. Z's setup got weird where his mic would only input one ear, so
We're eventually gonna fix it.
Obviously, for that, we don't want to record because that'd be very annoying. And then we hung out. We played some poker. Z doesn't want to play with me again.
I like how that's what you're running with. Like
you said it. You
no,
said
I
it.
didn't.
Yes, you did. You
No,
said
I
you won't play
didn't.
poker with me again.
No, I
money.
never did. See, there we
For
go.
money.
For money.
There it is.
For money, there it is.
You forgot to point that out.
So I'm not good at poker. I just have more experience than them by, I don't know, 4 games, and I got lucky on a couple hands.
Says
and,
the guy that's teaching us how to play.
I'm using Google. All right.
I mean, it was still fun though.
It was fun.
So, what
It definitely would be more fun when we get more people to play with us.
Yeah, I think poker is good with minimum 4.
Yeah.
It was okay for what we had, but I think you have to have 4 people to actually make it more enjoyable. Because it kind of it mixes things up with getting like the having a clear big blind and small blind is nice. We weren't playing with that because we only had 3 people.
Right.
Getting real money involved is nice, but I think for me, $10 for now would be cool because again, we're not all that experienced and we're not all super rich, so it's not like we can put in thousands of dollars.
This is true.
What was the name of that shitty movie we watched?
I don't know. You're the one that picked it. I was like,
Open House.
Open House. Do you want to try to give your explanation of Open House, Billy?
My explanation of it?
Because you missed like a good quarter of it, and then Z missed a completely different quarter of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like the beginning was real slow. For what was supposed to be a horror movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I found myself trying to keep myself awake more than paying attention to the plot itself.
And you're drunk at this point, so like you kind of sleepy.
I wouldn't say drunk. I was sleepy from drinking, but I didn't say I was drunk.
Yeah, we were buzzed.
I don't even know if I was buzzed. I was just like full from all the beer we drank before.
And then all the fucking food we had.
All the food.
Man.
Oh my god. No wonder I'm fat.
The food did more work to us than the actual alcohol.
Food was good.
Yeah, so I was a little sleepy from that already, and then you get the slow move. Like it wasn't necessarily boring. We made it fun by like, all right, this person's this or this is what's gonna happen. Playing our little guessing game.
Yeah.
And then
I don't think we could have guessed that ending at all.
No, and I'm a little upset that like right as I was finishing up what I was doing when I missed it,
taking a shit.
That's when things actually started. I was like, man, damn it.
Props to them for that little twist. That's probably the only.
Well, I mean, we still don't know what happened at the end. We don't know who did anything.
So
I'm honestly just talking. The only thing I liked about it was a certain death from a certain someone that we weren't expecting.
Okay, so quick synopsis, right? This dude I guess kid. He's supposed to be like 18. We looked it up. He was like 27 when they fucking filmed this, and
25.
his mom is maybe 12 years older than him. So
Oh yeah, Hollywood high school kids, of course.
yeah, right. So Channing Tatum is a fucking 18-year-old, right?
Yeah.
So they opened with like the kid is a runner or some shit, and his
He's
dad
on
is
track
like,
trying to make the Olympic team.
yeah, his dad's timing him, and 20 minutes go by of just exposition of that, and his dad gets hit by a driver who had a stroke or some shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
the driver's the only one that died.
so kills. Well, the dad died.
Well, and the dad. Yeah.
Dad got wrecked, and then the kid just kept having like cars.
Flashbacks.
So
Shitty flashbacks.
yeah, he did it. It was so fucking stupid. So then, mom is like, "Oh yeah, we're broke. We're gonna have to sell the house." So then I guess like the aunt comes in, is like, "Oh, you could go stay at my fucking $1 million cabin or whatever the fuck."
Summer home that they're selling.
Yeah, which they're selling. That's where the name open house comes from, because in the middle of it they have an open house. Whatever, a couple creepy things happen. There's a lot of shower scenes with a lot of like butt, which, I guess that's enjoyable for a shitty horror movie. But each time like a shower scene happened, it was because something happened with the water, so the mom went downstairs to go check on it, and for whatever reason it was always turned to where the, I don't even know what they call it on those old furnaces, but the heat for the water was turned off.
Mm-hmm.
And they always had to light a match. And for whatever fucking reason, when they light a match, they're like, "Oh, let me turn off my flashlight, put it down, and try to light this match or light this match." And so whatever, that kept happening. And then they went to the supermarket at one point, ran into this dude. I'm gonna call him Chris, I think was his actual name, maybe. And dude was like, "Mom, you're flirting with Chris. Like, don't flirt with Chris." And we like gave him the fucking cold shoulder. And then Chris ran into him a couple more times, and you're like, "Oh, Chris must be the bad guy, right?" Well, fast forward, Chris gets his throat slit. He's like helping them find whoever the fuck they think broke into the house, and it turns out that Chris died. That's who Z was referring to. And no?
No.
Oh, you're talking about the mom and kid.
Yes.
Okay, so mom and kid both die.
So
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
For anyone that's considering watching this dog shit movie.
So I'm not gonna explain. It's bad. The mom ends up.
It's some really stupid situation where the son ends up being like super paranoid by the end of the movie.
In the basement,
like,
where they're flicking the match, right? Like, oh, we're back here again.
And the mom just like yells out for him, and he's just like going around the house like super paranoid with the knife. She like fucking comes out of one corner, and he ends up stabbing his own mom. I was like, oh, all right, well, shit, dude.
So they're in the basement where like they had to light the match and all that, because I think that's what they're building up to, is he's going back to the same place where it's always dark, and she like goes up to him and he shanks his own fucking mom, and then some dude comes in and kills him, and they don't show his face, they only show his boots, and literally like if you Google it, you're left to assume that it was the plumber that came earlier to help with the water. And
that's it.
And I think that like, and cut to credits, and then apparently there's supposed to be a second one. So
can you imagine if this movie set up a end credit scene? Nobody stayed for it.
If I went to the movie theater for that, I probably would have walked out.
100%. Yeah.
Have you guys ever walked out of a movie?
Yes.
Nope.
Twice. Just twice. First time was the Green Lantern movie. Second time was the Ninja Turtles movie by Michael Bay.
How fucking dare you?
That was dog shit.
Did you walk out before the elevator scene?
I can't remember.
Man, they were like playing like the drums basically, but with their weapons.
Oh, they showed that in the commercial though. In the
Yeah,
trailer
in the clip.
for
you
that
gotta
movie.
wait for it though. It's good. I'll
Why
have
would
you
I believe it
know.
if I already saw it in the trailer.
I'll have you know that was like Biden and Kara's second date. Okay,
Oh,
it was the first
God.
movie her and I ever saw together.
Well, I mean, if if you were both able to stick around for that, you should stick around for each other.
There you go. I think I was too young to walk out on walk out on Green Lantern. I
We
was
were
young enough to
juniors in high school.
Yeah, I think I was young enough to enjoy it. I don't think I'd enjoy it now.
I was dating someone at the time, and we were watching the movie together, and we just both agreed to leave. It's not that it was like completely terrible. I mean, it is pretty bad, but it wasn't because I didn't like it. We were just like, fuck it, let's just leave.
I think I know why.
Probably.
Yeah, I never walked out on one. The only movie I remember going to the theaters for that I just visibly hated, and it was one that my parents dragged me to, was The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio. And that is the first and probably only movie where I just couldn't sit at the theater. Like, I've gone to some kind of bad movies with my parents before, and this one was 3 hours fucking long. And I am like, this is the first time where I'm like, can you give me a couple fucking bucks to go to the arcade? Like, I'm so bored. This is so fucking bad. And I blew all the money on the arcade in like 2 minutes because they gave me like $2. And then I'm just
Yeah.
walking around, going into the bathroom, like just whatever, and go back, and it's like, there's still an hour 45 of this fucking movie left.
Fuck.
It was so bad. I could not tell you the synopsis of that movie at all.
The
Never even
only
heard of
one that
that.
I've thought about walking out on was my dad and I went to see. God, was it The Woods? No, it's the one where it's got like Little Red Riding Hood, and then in the forest there's people with
Is
yellow.
that M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Yes, I think
I
so.
think
It's
it's
got
called
like people
Village.
The Village.
with. Yeah, is it? Yeah, they've got like white or yellow hoods on, and
Yep.
oh god, it's
Yeah,
so awful.
where like
Dude.
the twist was that they're actually in like a modern world or like modern day society or whatever,
Yeah,
and they're
and
all
it's
just
like
living
they're
like they're in the
living
dark
like
ages
they're-
in the
yeah,
woods. Yeah.
Yeah, she like walks through the forest and there's a highway and cars driving by. And that's
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
end
and
of it.
she's supposed to be like a really important person too. When they look through the newspaper, she was like a missing girl from like a billionaire or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So, imagine you take your kid to this, right? 2004 Leonardo DiCaprio movie, 2 hours and 50 minutes long. A biopic depicting the early years of legendary director and aviator Howard Hughes' career from the late 1920s to mid 1940s.
Howard fucking Hughes, dude.
So not only is it 3 hours long for 2004, I was 10, so 3 hours long. 1920s to 1940s. Why would I, again, as a 10-year-old, want to sit through something that
Right.
if
Well, not
someone's-
even like something fun from that time.
right?
Like
If it's not gangsters or someone getting shot,
exactly.
But then also, it's a fucking biopic. Like, I think my parents just saw, directed by Martin Scorsese and it has Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Blanchett, and Kate Beckinsale.
So wait, Kate Blanchett. Never
Kate
mind. I was thinking of
Blanchett
someone else.
and Kate Beckinsale.
Nice.
Like, good cast, terrible fucking movie. I think
Yeah.
I know I would hate it if I watched it today. But
All right, but like, serious question: has Leo DiCaprio ever been in a movie that's like 2 hours long or less?
Oh, wasn't
feel like all of
Inception,
his-
less than 2 hours?
I don't know. I feel like all of his movies are like at the very least 2.5 hours long.
okay. Guess, both of you. Guess how long the Titanic is.
Oh god. Well, those are 2
3.5
fucking
hours, 4
VHS
hours?
movies, so yeah. I'm gonna guess 3 hours 45 minutes. Just put it right in the middle of Z's.
3:30.
3:30.
3:30.
Sounds about right.
Hold on,
Because they did.
Those-
That was. I remember because a bunch of my family has a VHS for it, and that was when they did like 2 VHS tapes in
Yep.
one. So that's how long the movie was.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Inception. Let's Runtime. They always bury this shit. I honestly don't. Oh, runtime's 2 hour 28 minutes. I honestly don't remember Inception too much. Which 2:28's not bad.
It wasn't that memorable, honestly.
2:31 for The Departed.
I forgot he was in The Departed.
Wolf of Wall Street is 3 flat.
Oh yeah,
That's a porno.
he's done a bunch of movies. Now that I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, that's not a movie. That's a porno. Wolf of
Yeah,
Wall
right.
Street.
Margot Robbie is Queen.
She is. My mom thought that would be an appropriate movie for my 5-year-old brother to watch.
That's amazing.
So we were all watching it together. First nudie scene pops up. It's like, all right, Chris, can you take the kids to the other room because we're in a hotel? Sure, mom.
Do you guys remember any like super inappropriate movies you saw with your parents as kids?
I remember when I was super young, like 7 or 8. We used to go to Blockbuster and we'd pick out a movie for Friday night movie night.
Right.
And I picked this. It was supposed to be a scary movie, and it was kind of like 2 movies in one. But I was so young, I don't remember like much of it. Just that the scene I remember the most was some witch in a graveyard doing her like chanting and incantations, and then it turns into a nude scene. Like my mom's like, "All right, you know what? Close your eyes, cover your ears."
Oh man, dude, for me it was all those like, at the very least, most of the Steven Seagal movies, because like back when he was like fucking top shit, like late '90s, my dad had a bunch of his movies, and like whenever they would be put up, like for example Under Siege, there was this moment where, which actually Under Siege was a good movie because it even had Tommy Lee Jones in it, and he was an antagonist in it. I was like, oh crap, that's a nice little thing. Anyway, so there's a moment where they're in this ship where they were supposed to do like a surprise party for someone, and there was this stripper that fell asleep in this like big ass birthday cake where she was supposed to come out of, right? So halfway into the movie, Steven Seagal's like he's like looking around this cafeteria area, and then he like pushes to the side that cake, and once it like bumps into something, the music turns on, some rock music, whatever, and like she pops out of it. She, with her eyes closed the entire time, she's doing some sort of dance in the cake, and then she just like flashes her tits, and then God, seeing that with my parents, it's like, what the fuck, dude?
That's great.
But we, because like a bunch of like, I don't know, a bunch of my family, we all would even watch horror movies together and stuff. So I mean, it's not normal, but I guess it's normal. It's just those moments were really weird.
Right. I guess the reason I ask is because the one that I remember directly is I don't remember the name of the movie, but picture like the Disaster movie. You remember that?
Okay.
Like those shit, like random, I don't even know how to describe, like shenanigans movies. Right. The only thing I remember from it, that I don't think it was a disaster movie, but that genre of like comedy spoof bullshit. Towards the end, it just flashed to Borat in his green, I think they call it like a slingshot. It's straps that just go to basically a G-string for dudes. Like a Speedo, like tighter than a Speedo, right?
Like
literally just covering up the nuts, and that's it.
Yeah, so that, right? And it cuts to that, and I just remember vividly my mom being like, I want to see your dad in that, and I'm like,
I don't.
And scarred for the rest of my fucking life. Thank you.
Hey, you know what? I'm right there with your mom. I want to see your dad in that too.
I also second that motion. But specifically only the balls.
Hate both of you.
Oh man.
But yeah.
Maybe that's So many of these conversations outside of this podcast where we make Brad uncomfortable.
It's fine. I grew up uncomfortable. There was never a moment where I wasn't uncomfortable.
Oh man! So sidetracking out of these movies right now. Yesterday was the pay-per-view fight between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. Man, after yesterday, honestly, I feel like this is the year where a bunch of fighters are just gonna break their legs. Cause there's been two fights before this one where one of them broke their leg like Anderson Silva did, and another one, his knee popped out and he didn't like I mean, he realized it, but he didn't realize how heavy his footing was going to be, so he ended up twisting his ankle as well. Yeah, this is the year. This is the year for fighters to fuck up their legs.
Well, like, so I don't know. I didn't watch the fight, but when it happened, there were a lot of people that I was playing with who were watching it, and they were like, "Oh my god, like his career's done. He's done right there." And then they posted a video in it. When you watch the video, he's not doing a kick. He's not doing it. He just fucking takes a step and
He steps.
Yeah,
he just steps and it's
yeah,
gone.
like yeah.
So I'm gonna be pulling up a picture for everyone. Do you want to explain what happened, Z?
So he's going at it with Poirier, and he ends up missing a punch, I believe. And while he tries to step back, his left leg, his ankle rolled, and you can just pretty much see like there's no fucking ankle there. It's just like the shin is taking the step for him.
Right.
That's how sideways his foot went.
So
And
I'm gonna put this over real quick. So that the picture on the right, that's what happened. He's stepping back, and so essentially, you know, it went the entire fight. This is 7 seconds left in the entire fight, and McGregor, I think they both kind of whiff punches as he steps back. He steps on his ankle, like steps on his actual ankle, and collapses into it. And yeah, that's kind of about it.
it's just crazy, man. Like, I'm honestly, if it continues like this with like more fighters doing that, I'm gonna chalk it up to the fact that they didn't have enough fights in the last year or so due to the pandemic. So like now they become even more soft.
So
and now their legs are just giving out on them for some reason.
Poirier, his opponent, his reasoning, and it could just be something he actually felt or saw, or it could just be him like reassuring himself that he won that fight. He said that he checked a kick early in the fight that McGregor hit him with. He checked it and felt something. And he thinks that McGregor cracked the bone, and then when he went towards the end of that round and stepped back, that was the bone finally completing the break and just collapsing underneath itself. I could see it either way, but
yeah.
So I wanted Poirier to win. I've fallen off of the McGregor hype train. I don't like McGregor. I wanted to see Poirier win. It sucks to see him win that way.
Right.
I'm sorry. It sucks to see McGregor lose that way.
Well, just any fighter really, like especially that whole first round, they were just going at it. Like
yeah. It was sitting itself.
Both fighters were just like scrapping. It wasn't even like a technical fight either. They were just going back and forth at it.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing that ending the way it did, it's like, damn, we could have probably seen an all-out war between the two.
Yeah.
Which one you never really see through McGregor. I think the only person that has ever really given him a run for his money for like multiple rounds was Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
Or Nate Diaz, I mean. Yeah.
So the rest of that card was pretty fun. The first fight I walked in a little late to, but I guess O'Malley was fucking this other kid up.
Amazing, yeah.
3 straight rounds.
The UFC ended up bringing in some guy from an amateur league and
brought him up on 11-day notice.
11-day notice, yeah. And the dude was just like really hot down there. Like he was just taking people out left and right. And he's talking about how he's just like a scrapper and he's just like he's gonna give O'Malley a run for his money pretty much. And this dude has a lot to learn if he's gonna make it somewhere in there, or at least even be close to championship material.
But he was
But
blocking
he
punches with his
has
face.
heart. He has heart, man. Like obviously, and a fucking iron chin, dude. Because O'Malley was literally running circles on him, man. Like this is something you see out of like a showboat fighter in a movie or something. Like it got to the point where he was almost kind of dancing around him.
Do you know that meme of I think it's Randy Marsh? I ain't hear no bell.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. But
Kid
yeah,
got fucked up.
they went they almost went the whole 3 rounds, but they stopped it in the last 30 seconds because I guess the other guy wasn't like blocking enough. He just kept eating him.
He ate, I'm gonna say 7, 8 straight shots in a row without actually being able to defend it.
In hindsight, it's good.
Yeah, you don't
It's
want to
good
end the
because
kid's career early.
like he literally he probably took off a few years in his career just from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that fight was a great start to the pay-per-view. And then the second one was for this up and comer, not really up and comer. She's been around for a bit, but this
She's top
Mexican
10.
fighter. Yeah, but not many people really know about her because I mean, unless you're the champion, they don't really know about you. Irene Aldana, like, dude, she has some crazy boxing skills, man. Like this fight didn't really show it as much, but like, dude, she's crazy good at boxing.
A girl
And
Irene.
yeah, she she did enough. Her opponent, I forgot her name, but her opponent was more of a kickboxer, and she was just throwing kicks back and forth, trying to grapple her and stuff.
Wasn't
And
landing.
Aldana was just like defending like a pro, dude. Like I mean, yeah, she ate some shots and stuff, but man, she definitely was the better fighter and ended up beating her in that same first round.
Yeah.
That was an awesome fight to see. And then the third fight, there was a heavy man. I love heavyweight fights, dude. These
Always.
things are ridiculous, dude. Just like you just see them for the knockouts, and it lasted what? The first round,
A
right?
minute and like 10 seconds or something.
Man.
I could be off. It might be 2 minutes, but yeah.
The best part about it is one guy got wobbled, and you thought he was done for, but he literally comes back and ends up fucking knocking out the other guy. So it's just like a double whammy right there. Top 10 anime plot twist right there.
Can you explain what happened right before and after that fight, though, with the guy who won?
So
The Shuey.
yeah, they were they like to show many highlights, highlight reels of these fighters before they come up to their fight. And right before they started the guy that won his highlight, they showed him actually drinking from Das Boot. He was just chugging one, and that was part of his highlight reel.
His fucking
And then
highlight
after he
reel.
won, yeah, after he won, he chugged one from a Nike shoe, which honestly, you know, that's come on, man.
Nike sponsorship right
Nike,
there.
get him right now. So, yeah, that was cool. He was getting more drinks from the crowd while he was leaving. That was really cool.
So on his walkout, they filmed him drinking out of 2 different shoes, that Nike and then like it was kind of like a cowboy boot. He drank out of both of those. Actually, 3. He drank out of another set of Nikes, I think.
No, the third one he was about to leave, and then someone that was like almost a level above him was just pouring.
They're pouring down from the top just straight into his mouth.
Yeah, it was really cool. He's definitely an entertaining fighter.
God, that guy. You know, I kind of liked Hardy. Kind of in between on him, but
He's definitely had some good fights.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely like the other guy.
I like him now. You do something like that, I'm a fucking fan. Like Derek Lewis, my balls was hot. Love that guy.
Man, dude, these heavyweights are just hilarious, man. Like there's so much character to each heavyweight. It's great.
Billy, what's your shirt?
It says SRB Wars.
You mean SBR?
SBR?
Yeah, SRB Wars.
What does that stand for, Billy?
SBR
Yeah.
or SRB?
Well,
Silver
SRB we
Wars?
know is Scotimus Robotimus. Our buddy,
Bronicus?
our buddy Scott, who we'll get as a guest on the podcast someday.
SBR is just a special battle rifle. It's I got a shirt from TAC Pack, so
Nice,
there you go.
nice.
that's what I'm wearing.
It's part of that
Uh,
pew pew life
This podcast
Pretty
is
much.
sponsored by
It's
What again?
not sponsored by
by
anything.
SBR Wars.
SBR
By
Wars,
SBR Wars.
by SRB Wars. Hey, if your battle pack guys want to sponsor us, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I've actually reached out to them about sponsoring, not just well, I haven't reached out to them about sponsoring this, but I reached out to them sponsoring my Twitch
What they
channel.
Twitch.tv/creating_havoc.
They just didn't get back to me. So
Hey, I get 2 viewers on a Monday, but on a Saturday I get 70. All right, you guys should sponsor me.
Right.
it's been a while since this was back when I was averaging 14, 15 viewers when I reached out to them. Now my average is a little bit higher, so I might try again.
Nice.
We can finish up UFC talk, but I was gonna ask about your trip over to Springfield.
Oh, it wasn't too bad. I mostly just I feel like I spent more time driving than I did anything else.
That sounds like Springfield.
How long
Well,
did you stay
so-
over there?
Till Thursday. So it wasn't really Springfield. It was Taylorville, which is I think 30 minutes from Springfield.
Gotcha.
But
you guys just hang around the house.
Yeah, for a lot of the time. So they live right on it's technically a lake, but I think it gets cut off or there's a bridge over it, and then through their little living area there's a river-esque kind of like spot.
Okay.
So we went kayaking once. I helped out with them digging up plants and picking up, because she just got her new place, but we were staying at her parents while they were getting everything settled at their new place. And honestly, it was 4.5 hours to drive home, 3.5 hours to drive from your guys' place.
Yeah.
And then I slept. I still worked while I was there, but benefit of working from home, so I was able to just do it there. And then after that, ate from a sushi food truck. So that was fun.
Was it good?
Oh yeah, I got it last time I was there too, and it's so because it's a food truck, it has to be cooked food.
Yeah.
So all the sushi is fried.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or deep fried. So
Yeah, you can't have raw.
it's not unusual because there is such thing as deep fried sushi. But for a truck to have nothing, or for there to only be deep fried sushi is unusual on the menu. But it's a food
Right.
truck, so it makes sense.
I have never eaten from a food truck.
That is the only food truck I've eaten out of.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I've eaten out of one either.
I feel like that's more of a city thing. I've always I always see Guy Fieri's drivers dines, whatever the fuck, diners, drive-ins, and dives. There you go. And I always see shit like that, and all these Food Network stuff, and they're eating out of for whatever reason, to me, a food truck just seems like they always have the best fucking food.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I want to experience that. If you go to if you go to LA, food trucks fucking everywhere, taco trucks and
Right.
sushi trucks,
So
shit like that.
scratch my statement though, because I actually have had food truck, but I've never had a unique food truck.
Yeah.
I've eaten tacos from different food trucks, but that's about it. I haven't
Yeah.
done you go on Facebook or other social media and you see these really cool advertisements to I don't know, lobster food trucks or like Billy said, sushi food truck, and you don't really see those around. So I haven't eaten from a unique one like that.
I used to watch this show called, I think it's the Great Food Truck Race or something, where these people they get food trucks and they have to travel around the whole U.S. in some survival or survivor style challenge, where they're okay, you're gonna go to this city, you get this much money. They give them actual money. You get this much money. you can only buy these ingredients or whatever, and you have to outsell everyone from the rest of the like surrounding areas. Like so they station them in different, or actually they don't even station. They say go to this city, find the best spot that you can legally find, and sell as much food as you can. And at the end of the day, they count up how much money, and then they knock off the person who sold the least. And it was actually kind of fucking cool. And they would do like a lot of different challenges of like, okay, you're a even so there was one group where they're Hawaiian, so like their main thing was like spam. So Hawaiians love spam.
Gross.
But they would do challenges where it's like you can't sell meat at all, or you have to use these exact ingredients, sell the best hot dog and all that, and or they would give them like the smallest ingredients and make them charge over like $20 for one meal, and it's just a combination of them making good food, finding good places. When they came to Chicago, it was fucking nuts because there's nowhere to fucking park in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So finding a place to park and then competing with other people and like marketing themselves and being like, look, I'll give you 3 of these if you just spend $20 or blah 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 blah. So kind of a good show. I thought it was actually a pretty cool idea.
I've never really been into like Food Network and stuff like that. But I remember having my cousin over from Indiana, and she was over for a whole week. This was like years ago, and she was just hanging out with my sister during the summer. For that whole week, dude, I shit you not, they had the Food Network on the entire time. like like every time I passed by them, they were watching something else on the Food Network, but it's just like, dude, I couldn't do that.
As a kid, my parents liked HGTV,
Yep.
the home.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, they like that stuff. And as a kid, you know, I'm like, this is kind of stupid. That's kind of like a guilty pleasure now. Like I like watching that shit.
My dad was more about Animal Planet.
Yeah.
So he would always have Animal Planet on, and then I think I told you the other day during the weekends they would have this thing kind of like funniest home videos,
Yeah.
but instead it's just like animals doing goofy stuff. So
Right. I just picture your dad like double fisting Modelo's, sitting on the couch after a long day of work, just super engrossed into like Shark Week or some shit, where he's just like,
oh, dude, 100%, 100%. Like,
so with me, again, guilty pleasure. I think that's more of an adult thing now because I like see all these things. I'm like, damn, I would love to live there.
Yeah.
Damn, I'd love to do this in
oh
my house.
yeah. Yeah, you were always thinking like, man, this shit is boring, dude. Turn on the cartoons.
Right.
Yep.
I want some cartoons. and now you're just like, you know what? This is pretty chill. I'm gonna
Hell,
watch
I
like
streamed
7
playing
episodes.
a game about washing a fucking house.
Was it Power
I
Washer
remember
Simulator?
that.
No, it was House Flipper.
Oh, House Flipper.
Which is
Yeah.
before
remember
Power
that.
Washer Simulator.
There is Power Washer Simulator now. With the Food Network stuff, I wasn't too into it until a couple years ago, where me and Kara were staying at a hotel for some reason, and there was nothing on TV except for Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And her and I, like, I think we didn't really eat that day, so we're just sitting there staring at the TV, starving over everything we're fucking seeing, and it's just like,
Nice.
man, this. And then we actually started watching shows like that now. But
Another one of those shows that you guys got me into was Forged in Fire.
Forged in Fire is so good.
Oh, that Forged in Fire is so good.
Yeah.
I love that
like
show.
I remember just coming over one day and you guys were marathoning it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh dude, this is so cool.
We cut that like cold turkey, but I kind of want to watch it again.
It's really cool.
There are
I think
two
I have it on
versions.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched it on Hulu, then I think it switched over to Netflix. But they have two versions of it. One's OG Forged in Fire. They tell them what to make, I guess. I think right. They tell them what to make,
Yes.
and then they have to test out like if it'll cut or no. That's not the one where they'll test if it will cut, is it?
Yes, it is.
It is.
They gotta.
The other one is people forge their own. It's specifically knives,
Okay.
and they have to go through an obstacle course.
Oh my
of
god, yeah, that's so cool.
how sharp it is, the
Yeah, I haven't seen
durability.
that one.
I don't like that one as much as regular Forge of Fire, but it
Mm.
also wasn't too bad.
Okay.
So on the same note, my actual guilty pleasure, and this is the dumbest thing I like to watch, is like Storage Wars.
I
It's
have not seen an episode.
it's fake, but I love it. So Storage Wars is premise is it follows like several groups of people who go to these storage units that are being auctioned because of people got evicted or whatever, and
Yeah,
they're
been
selling.
paying on it.
Right, or if someone dies, and they just sell it, right? And
Right.
Storage Wars is like literally basically Pawn Stars, but they go to the storage, they get like 30 seconds to like look around in it, and then they start auctioning it off. And then during that time, the whole like thing is like, oh, that might be able to sell for something, but I only have 30 seconds, so it's not like I could just Google it right now and see how much it would be. So they're banking on this actually being good, or if the storage is like way too filled up, they go, there's got to be something good in there, and then it's either hit or miss. But it's fake. I learned, which is unfortunate. They like get the prices beforehand and everything, and it's not as fun.
I never really got into those types of shows, but after Forge and Fire, I did kind of get into a different one, which I slightly got you into for the clips, at least on YouTube. It was these strong men just doing a bunch of
The
random
strongman.
daily,
Yep.
yeah, a bunch of like daily challenges and just the usual documentary stuff.
Shaw and
Yeah, Brian Shaw, Eddie
Yeah.
Hall,
yeah,
something like Nick Best, I believe.
yeah, that sounds
But-
familiar.
Yeah, all three of them were always doing some crazy stuff.
At best.
So
no, no.
this is a big like butterfly effect thing that I didn't even realize happened because of it. So I got into Forge and Fire. Well, I got into cooking shows, which made me get into like the Forge and Fire type shows, which then got Z into that, which then got me into the fucking eating eating YouTube channels. Like what's that skinny kid's name?
The Asian dude that eats
Yeah.
all those like hot ramen.
Yeah. Oh god. I'm so sad that I'm blanking on his fucking name, but
I don't know.
the world record eating guys, I like watching that.
Yeah,
And then
I went over one day and we just watched it all day.
Yeah, and then that got me into this other guy, Beard Meets Food or something like that. His videos are pretty good. His is I'm gonna go to this restaurant, order everything off the menu, and see if I can crush it. Like that.
You know
kind
what
of
though?
video.
That day, I believe it was that same day when I went over and we were watching all those YouTube food challenges. We ended up watching a pretty bad like documentary. This guy from a paranormal show. I forgot what it was called. But his name is Zach Bagans,
Oh,
and he
God.
did a thing called like Demon House or something. Oh, I think it was like in
Yeah.
Indiana.
God,
Man,
that was so bad.
it was bad. And then
You
like,
were excited for that too, which was sad.
Yes, because like I forgot why I was excited for it, but
Sorry.
oh, you know what?
Matt Stoney.
Matt Stoney.
That was the
Okay,
Asian kid's name.
gotcha. Yeah. But for the reason why I got excited for is I ended up listening to a Chris Jericho podcast, and it ended up having Zach Bagans in it. No, this was like years ago though. Like this was back when I don't know, like 2016 or something. And he was talking about it then, where he's like, "Yeah, we're setting up this documentary movie," and like I always looked around for it and I couldn't find it. Up until that point, I was like, "Oh, they finally came out with it, so let's watch
Amazon.
it." The only thing I remember from that is by the end of it, is something fucked him up where he ended up using that as an excuse for him using specific type of lenses for glasses. I forgot what they were called. But it was kind of like it was to help him not have like a lazy eye.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember anything about
By
that.
the end of
but-
that documentary, he was just like, so now I have to wear these prism glasses. He's
Yeah.
like, now I have to wear these prism glasses because my eyes are messed up from what I saw there. I was like, all right, dude.
I'm like, it's slowly coming back to me of the shit that happened in that. It was so fucking stupid. That
Yeah.
that that sucks.
But you know what, man? I'm a sucker for ghost things, like ghost stories and stuff. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure like a majority of the people are. Like it's just fun, the unknown stuff, even if it's like real or not.
Yeah.
But
Which on that note, Billy, do you believe in ghosts at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think well, I might not have told it to you. I've definitely talked about it on my chat a couple times, um, about different stuff that happened at like my house or when I was growing up, or even at my basic train, or well, not basic training at AIT, my military job training. The barracks, there was actually a young woman who killed herself in the shower because people were dogging on her too much, and she couldn't take it, and
for
she
sure.
actually haunted the barracks. So the way that the barracks was settled, we had our main lobby, which was on the first floor. The second floor was all males, and then there was one stairwell that kind of went up. All two stairwells, they all went up, but they had the doors locked on the different floors. So like males could use one stairwell, females had to use the other. And the females were on the third floor, so like if we went up the male stairwell, the third floor was locked from the outside. They could only go through the emergency exit. Um, but it was ironically, it was on a night that I had fire guard. We had a group of people playing with Ouija boards in one of the vacated rooms, and I don't know, like I'm one of those people where like I walk into a place and I kind of just like get chills if I feel like something's there, whatever you want to call it. I stood outside the door because my chair for fire guard was right next to this fucking room. Like, here's my chair, here's the doorway. I'm like looking in, I step in to tell like, hey guys, it's lights out, time to put the shit away, whatever. And that's just like constant chills. Like I'm shivering almost. Um, and I walk out in the hallway and I'm like, fine. And
Oh,
that night, the next morning we learned that the female fire guard on the third floor saw someone walk into a room and but didn't see anyone walk out of it first. So she wasn't sure if like someone's just like taking a late shower or whatever. She went in there to check, and right before she got to the door, just blood curling screaming from that room. One of the girls fell out of the bed and her wrist clean cut, like just broke, straight snapped, clean.
Jesus.
Nobody knows what happened. Like she's
What?
just out there limp. Like nobody knows. The girl that went in there, everyone was already in that room asleep, so they don't even know who went in that room. But there was only the three
Fuck.
people in there, and they all confirmed that they were in there asleep before.
Fuck
No one
that.
saw them leave.
Well, what was her explanation? Like, what did she say?
Which one? The fire guard?
The one that got her wrist broken.
She was asleep. She said, I just felt in intense pain, started screaming like as I woke up, and my arm was broken.
What
She had
the
no idea.
fuck? Imagine.
Man, like nobody knew
Fuck that.
anything.
I've never had anything that close to a situation, but I do have like two stories. One of them a really like short one. So in this house when we were sophomores in high school, on Sundays, like my family goes out on Sundays all the time, and sometimes there are times when they don't. And one day I sleep in really late. I sleep into like I don't know noon, and that was like that was unheard of for me because like my dad at that time was always waking me up at like 8 in the morning to do something around the house. But I'm sleeping, and have you guys ever had these situations where like you're half asleep still, but you're conscious enough to like hear if anyone is like at your door, and like so it wakes
Mm,
you up regardless.
Yeah.
yep.
I was in that moment, and I hear my mom yelling out to me, and I'm like half awake, and I just lift up my head. I'm like, yeah, what's up? Nothing. And I was pissed off because I'm like, fuck, dude, I was having some good sleep. And I get up, I open the door, I'm like, yeah, what's up? What do you want? and nothing. I'm like, what? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
And I checked over the
What?
whole house. Like I even looked at the driveway and they weren't here. I'm like, that was fucking weird. But the house that I used to live in when I was when we were like the last time I was there, we were probably in second grade, and everyone, my brother and my mom and my dad all had a story from that house. But I was too young. I guess I never really like had a weird situation like that. But my brother at one point, you all right, dude?
As you're saying something, something just like fell over in my room, and I don't know what the fuck it was.
It's Kara
Perfect
fucking with
timing.
you.
Yeah, right.
I'm curious if
Oh,
the audio spiked for that at all. I doubt it,
Oh,
but
man.
I didn't
fuck,
hear anything.
yeah.
Yeah, well, recordings can do that.
No
So
exact
my
seconds.
brother, we had this finished basement where like it was only like 5 steps from the main floor to the basement, and then 5 steps as well to like the second floor. So like both stairs were just like right there connected. And going downstairs, you turn right and you just see like straight ahead. There's the laundry room, which is pretty much like one of those wall closets where it just has like uh one of those folding doors or whatever.
Kind
Mm-hmm.
of like that,
And
but it
but folding,
opens.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So my brother at one point said he saw like red eyes in there, and that was pretty much his experience, and
Okay.
that was it. But my dad, he had another interesting experience. This was around the time like when him and my mom would wake up around the same time to go to work, and sometimes he wouldn't work, but he'd still wake up to like help her get ready for work. So she ends up leaving, and this is like, I don't know, 6 in the morning or something. So he goes to the basement and just like knocks out on the couch. And as soon as he closes his eyes, he said he felt like, that wind gust feeling when someone walks past you, like you just feel that
Mm-hmm.
small amount of like wind blowing past you. He felt that. So he opened up his eyes and was just like, what the fuck? And like nothing came out of it. And then my mom would always hear footsteps on the stairs. But the craziest story is we all went to, I think it was Mexico for a while, and like my dad had one of his friends watch over the house. But the stairs um going to the second floor, under it was a door to take you into like a, what would it be, like a cellar or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like a
But
wine cellar.
yeah, but it was pretty much just like half of it was finished with pavement because my dad wanted to like use it as storage, and then the other half was still rocks and stuff, so it wasn't
Crawl
like,
space.
yeah, crawl space, there we go. That was
Yeah.
so we always had storage there, and like I was always playing in there. Nothing ever happened to me. But when the friend was watching over the house, he was in that basement watching TV, and he literally hears pounding on that door. Fucking pounding.
Fuck
So what
that.
he does is he puts a table in front of it and leaves. He never came back to that house.
Fuck that.
Oh
God.
man.
So I have had several experiences, but I also have night terrors, which are kind of freaky, but those are like a human thing, right?
Right.
First of all, what you were talking about with like that half asleep state, it's called
Mhm.
twilight state. When you go in for certain surgeries, they don't want to fully put you under anesthetic, so they'll give you something where you're like too drowsy, like it's almost like you're drunk, and you're aware of your surroundings, you know what's happening, but you're too out of it to feel or react to anything.
Right.
So you get similar with that when you're sleeping. So I get like that a lot too because I'm very, especially in the first hour of me falling asleep. That's kind of how I am. But anyways, so my most dead-on experience with something, I was walking up to my room, and the way my house is laid out is there's stairs that go upstairs. There's a When you hit the top stairs, there's like at a little office area where my dad's at. A railing where you can look downstairs, and then my mom's room's over here. So you're on the stairs as I'm pointing this out. So mom's room's back here, and then dad's at the computer. On the right is a hallway. Very first door, guest bedroom, or I think it was my bedroom at this point because I think my sister was still living with me. So my bedroom, bathroom on the left, and then it's split into two doors, which was my oldest sister's room and then Kim's room and Brittany's room, right? I don't think Kim was living with us at the time, and I don't think I had moved bedrooms yet. So I don't think I lived in that room just yet because I did switch rooms later as a teenager, or whatever. Brittany was downstairs, and my mom was in the bedroom, and my dad again was at the desk. I walk up the stairs, turn to the right, and there's a girl standing in the fucking hallway. Long black hair, and she just reaches her arm out. And at that point, I freak the fuck out and I sprint to my mom's room and I say, "There's something in the fucking hallway." And she's like, "Where's your sister?" "Downstairs." My mom to this day thinks that it was just Brittany trying to scare me. Brittany doesn't recall it at all. My dad probably didn't give a fuck. And
Damn.
so when I say like this girl looked like the girl from The Ring, right? I say that The Ring hadn't been out yet. So it's not like that's like in my imagination that I created the girl from The Ring in front of me and I was too scared. No, The Ring hadn't been fucking out yet, and I saw the
Fair
fucking, I saw a little fucking girl, all white, long black hair, reach her arm out as if she like wanted me to come to her or something. And I said, "Fuck that shit."
Damn.
So the reason why I brought up night terrors, right? I in my old age now, I'm trying to remember back like was I asleep before that? Was that a night terror or cuz the way I remember it I was like awake and I was just walking up the stairs from like getting food or something downstairs and I was going up to my room. Um so me trying to rationalize as an adult, it's like maybe it was a night terror, I get night terrors almost like once a week and I've never had anything that terrifying happen to me. So night terrors, difference between that and a nightmare. So a nightmare is you're dead asleep. You are fully asleep. It is in your dreams, right? A night terror is kind of similar to sleep paralysis, where your brain isn't functioning at 100%, where it like you're not awake, but you're aware. Similar to that, but I have functionality in my body. So ever since I was a kid, it's usually like bugs where I like wake up and I think there's a spider on me or something, or I think like I think there was like a bug in my bed. I remember snakes at one point. I'm not fucking scared of snakes. I like snakes, and I was terrified because again, brain not functioning 100% because I'm still kind of asleep. Living with my girlfriend, I'll say things to her that I'm aware that I'm saying them. I remember I wake up the next day and I'm like, why the fuck did I say that? But it's because I'm technically asleep, but I know that I'm talking to her. So I'll remember like I said that to you last night, didn't I? And I'm like, it's not like I could control it. But one terrifying thing about it, and it's like sleep paralysis again, is sometimes I'll wake up and like I'll look, I will be staring at the closet for 10-15 minutes thinking something's in there looking back at me. And that's just because I don't know better because I'm asleep. But back on like the ghost shit, that was my most direct encounter, I guess. I've heard footsteps. I oh, I just fucking remembered this one. This is when I had my car, so call it 18 years old maybe. But I was living with my parents. My dad was gone somewhere. Brittany's moved out of the house. It's just me, my mom, and my dad. And my mom calls me one time, and she's like, "Hey, are you on your way home?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she said, I think I saw someone walk into the house when I left. And I'm like, oh, okay. So my dad's gone. Yeah, he's at work or some shit. I don't fucking know. Um, God, I just got another one as I'm talking about this too. So
Nice.
that house is fucking scary, man. So I go into the house and I open the garage and I'm all quiet about it. And I remember going and like, I go and grab a knife, just in case. I go and grab a knife and I'm like slowly. If someone was there, they would know I'm there. But I'm opening every single door in the house and closing it quietly. That way, mostly so I can listen. So not that like I don't want this guy to know I'm here. I want to know if they're making movement.
Mhm.
And I heard footsteps at one point, but I never saw anything. Talked to my mom about it not too long after. She doesn't even remember calling me.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So then the one that I remembered in the middle of me talking about that. So same house, same layout. My mom's bedroom's back here, so when the doors open, you could see vaguely into the hallway and you could see the stairs going up. Um, when I was really little, my dad worked midnight shifts because he was a cop, and I would spend the night at my mom's bed sometimes, waiting for him to get home, and he would like carry me back to my bedroom once he gets home and all that. So I'm little, like 4 or 5 years old, and on more than one occasion, I remember. So I was scared of the dark as a kid, so we would leave the bathroom light on in the hallway, and on more than one occasion, I remember a shadow walking past that light multiple times, and I knew it wasn't my sister because you could hear her door open because the doors are all creaky in the house.
Man, you're just
So
full of those, huh?
that house has a lot of shit.
Yeah. My brother and I always wondered if we could like if we should like just check public records on that house to see what happened to it or like what happened before we lived there.
my
But
my house was built in like the 1980s. It had
hmm,
one dude who lived there before us. He lived and didn't have a family or anything. He just lived there, sold the house to my parents. That was it. So like now, okay, one thing I don't know how much of this I believe though. All of Bolingbrook is on Indian burial ground.
is it?
So you know Indian Boundary?
Mm-hmm.
There are two Indian boundaries in Bolingbrook
Okay.
on opposite sides of town. It's
Right.
because that is the Indian reservation boundary of where a reservation used to be. It's creepy. That's some poltergeist shit.
Yeah, right?
So
Damn.
I believe in ghosts. I don't know everything that happened to me. I don't know if it was or not. Again, night terrors or nightmares or what. But shit's freaky. Oh, also, nothing ever happened with this. Sorry, nothing ever
Yeah, you're good,
happened.
you're good.
Nothing ever happened with this. But do you remember my attic?
No.
No. So I have an attic
I never yeah.
above my upstairs or outside my upstairs bathroom. There's an attic that
Yeah.
goes. We never went into it, but I remember like being kind of creeped out of it as a kid, like especially after watching fucking horror movies.
Right.
And it was always in my imagination that when I opened that attic one time to like try to peek up there, that I fucking let something out. I fucking let a ghost. I let a demon out. That thing's gonna kill somebody now.
man.
Gonna possess you.
Yeah.
Good times, right?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Man.
I'm happy I don't live in that fucking house anymore.
I every now and then I will get into these like deep dives of all these found footages of ghosts and stuff. But it wasn't until like TikTok came out where this one guy, this Middle Eastern guy, I don't know if he's like Arabic or what, but he would end up going to like all these abandoned places and stuff, and like shit was ridiculous because like
Yeah.
I don't know. I these were from like third party channels, so I wasn't directly following him, but I don't know if he was going live every time he was doing this stuff, but when he was recording, he was always like saying prayers while going through the places, and then you would just see like random shit moving right in front of him, and he would run towards that stuff to make sure that there's no one there.
He's
And there
screaming
was
his prayer as he's running towards it.
yeah, and he like obviously there was never anyone there, which made it even creepier. So like,
Yeah.
dude was like full blown like ghost hunting if that was an actual thing. Like,
You showed me that, and those actually got me kind of on the edge of my seat. Like,
yeah,
those are pretty
that
good.
stuff is cool.
He would go into like these abandoned ass houses or buildings, and again, like saying prayers, like Z said. But like I'm pretty sure he's seen people in those. Like they
Yeah,
slow it down, and you
probably.
see like the perfect figure of a person, and he chases after. There's no exits anywhere, and there's no one
Yeah,
there
and
when he
like
runs
he
over.
double checks like everything too. So it was the best part about it is he wasn't doing like crazy cuts to where like, oh, he sees this part and then they're gonna cut to the next part. No,
He kind
he
of keeps
it's
the camera on.
yeah, it's just like one whole take the entire time.
Yeah, it's shaky
So
and all that, but it would be hard to edit.
yeah, yeah, I those are probably like the coolest things I've ever seen when it came to like deep diving into like all these found footages of ghosts and abandoned buildings and stuff.
That's my favorite kind of like horror movie or like YouTube videos. I like those. Um, like yeah, like the slasher stuff's fun and all that, but like I like when like there's kind of like an unknown
Mhm.
Yeah,
where it just gives a creepy vibe. Um,
right.
like I try going down deep dives of YouTube every now and then, but you always find the same videos, and then you find like a lot of lame videos, and then you
Mm-hmm.
get the guy with the really fucking annoying voice. The 10 things that you
Oh my
wouldn't want to
god.
see in your house. Number
Number
15, Burger King foot lettuce. That's an actual quote of his. I don't remember what it's from.
Oh my god. Did I ever tell you guys about the time when I was in college? I think at this point in time I was a sophomore, and there were a couple I was friends with all the seniors from ROTC, and they were out fooling around at a golf course that was nearby, and they saw people parking outside of an abandoned mental asylum
Oh
that was in
shit.
the town. So they're like, "Hey, like, what's going on?" You know, being the college students that they were, they're like, "We're gonna go see if there's a party." Um, they go in there and they see nobody. There's not a soul anywhere, and at every doorway there's a glow stick, and there's spray paint on the walls pointing down to the stairs that says like the gateway to hell and shit is downstairs.
Oh my
Um,
god.
Oh, that's where
so
your ex girlfriend did her rituals, right?
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denise, my high school ex girlfriend.
Oh, you just
Um,
doxed her.
oh please. Um, and there's so so they're like, all right, whatever. They go around, they're looking around through up top. They don't dare go downstairs. Um, and they start leaving, and they start looking behind them while they're leaving, and there's people with hoods, black hoods, following them. And every time they look back, there's more of them and more of them. And eventually they're walking fast towards them. They're jogging towards them. They're sprinting towards them. They get in the car. They drive off. First place they go to is my apartment,
No, no.
and because I've got the like the final two seniors from the class with me as my roommates. So they come upstairs and they're pounding on the door. I fell asleep outside. So I think I was playing Ark. I fell asleep outside in the living room, and I hear boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So I wake up. I open the door, get some black clothes on, hurry up and let's go. And I was like already in kind of like black clothes. So like, all right, like what's up? Like, just come with us. And then they're like telling me on the way there what happened. And we go there, and there's like no glow sticks anywhere except in the stairs. and we're inside. Like I saw the walls and all that, and then down the stairs you could hear some kind of like chanting. And we're like, okay, well, we're gonna get the fuck out of here now. So we left and got the fuck out of there. Didn't go back once.
Fuck that.
I think
Oh
I
man.
think they called the cops while they were being chased, and when we were coming up, there was like a cop car like flashing the light.
Yeah, from outside.
Yeah, it's like-
like yeah, I'm not gonna fucking check that shit, dude. No,
We're
no.
good.
I don't see anything. I think we're good.
Have you guys ever watched Grave Encounters?
Sounds familiar.
The movie, right?
Yeah, there's two of them.
Yeah, there were two of them. Yeah, I saw them both.
Pretty good. I actually the first one scared me a lot. I think that was a really good one. Billy, would you be down to do a Discord watch on that one?
Absolutely.
It's one of those ghost not
Girlfriend's past.
not ghost busters, but ghost adventurer guys that go into an abandoned asylum. And this kind of like quick spoiler, but it's like 10 minutes into the movie. They go and they start doing their ghost adventure shit, and they're like, okay, let's go back, and the door's gone. And then it just gets creepier from there.
Nice.
It's one of those. Well,
I never liked those movies, but
no, I thought they were pretty.
I'd be
Enjoy
willing
those
to
kinds of
rewatch
movies.
them just because.
They're not on Netflix or anything anymore. Sadly, we'd have to watch it on like Crackle or something.
I only watch them through Family Video.
Play. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I miss Family Video, man.
Yeah, good times.
You know
That's
the one
Blockbuster.
the one near me is a it's a pro gaming, like they have the PCs and the Xboxes and the
Oh, like a gaming lounge.
like a LAN party bullshit, but
Yeah.
specifically for MLG shit. Which
The last modern thing that the Family Video by me did was just start selling CBD oils.
last modern thing that they did was shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Well, they shut down during COVID.
yeah,
they were already like on the edge of like closing down beforehand.
well, the CBD was all of them, and it was kind of like a last ditch effort to get a little bit more business in, and it just
Yeah.
wouldn't. So
Nobody just gets movies anymore, you know? They get it online or watch it from
Yeah,
Netflix. or,
pretty much. It's all digital at this point.
Yeah. Same
Sad.
thing with like
Most-
GameStop.
Most of the time, I mean that goes for a lot of things like
hmm
books, movies, video
Yep.
games, music. Like for me at least, unless I'm a hardcore fan for them, I'm just gonna get them like digital. But if
Yeah.
I really love them, I'll get a hard copy.
so I have the Xbox Series S and the PS5 discless edition. So I can't even have discs anymore. I actually used to like kind of like to have the physical copy, but now it's just way much more convenient to not.
Right.
I mean, it made sense. Something if you had a physical disc copy, like there wasn't that much memory being taken up because everything was on the disc. But now that everything's digital, you know, now you've got the
Until
stuff. But you can also make like 2 terabyte hard drives now. So
until the Xbox One came out, and I think the PS4 as well, because with the Xbox One, even though you have the disc, you had to install the entire
you still
game.
had to install. Yeah.
But it wouldn't work without the disc. Doesn't make
Right.
sense. And I understood. So
This
they said
cold's
it
the
was.
key.
Yeah, they said it was for performance, to get 100% performance out of this. But like, come on, man! Like, just let me play by like when Z and I would go to like the midnight release of Gears of War 4
Yep.
or some shit. It's just like I can't play this until tomorrow because my download speed is like a
Yeah.
gigabyte an hour. You know?
Right.
I remember it was like the only time I ever did a midnight release of a game. I don't remember for the life of me what game it was. I think it was The Division, actually. Might have been The Division.
Man.
And I went there, got it, went to install it, and my uncle and the friend group that I was gonna be playing with were already like level 30 by the time I had finished installing. Like got
Yeah.
home, installed it, I was like, this is bullshit.
Yep.
The only times I did midnight releases were for Gears games. So I did 2, 3, the Ultimate Edition, which was pretty much a remastered of the first one,
Yep.
and then 4. After that, 5 I got it on Steam.
we did the Gears 3 release together, and
Oh, dude, I remember like so many of our high school buddies did it with us, and like that was when they did the also the limited edition Xbox
Yep.
with the game.
Hmm.
And
remember that.
yeah, I remember the fall, like just seeing a bunch of our buddies in line, and then the following day in class, just like everyone was talking about Gears 3 and playing Horde mode, and how like they added like Lambent berserkers and stuff like that. And it was just ridiculously difficult to deal with.
they added bosses every 10 waves.
Yeah.
You could fortify, like where you have like spikes and then turrets
Yep.
and stuff like that. I just
Mhm.
remember the Gears 3 release specifically because the online didn't work, so we went straight into Horde mode with one of
Yep.
our buddies that we met up with at that. We got his gamer tag and started playing with him that night. And then I forgot what release you and I went to, but we went to one where NFL whatever or Madden whatever was coming out, and there were more people for that than it was the game you and I went for.
Really?
I forgot what game it was. I think it
I don't
was.
remember
I
that.
think that was Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Actually, I don't know. I was in college for that one, so I'm not sure.
Well, it did come out when you were in college.
But I would have been at Lewis, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have been in my hometown.
You guys were
Yeah.
Skyping.
Yeah. He was with me on Skype.
FaceTiming
What's
each other.
up, Z? It's me over at the GameStop release, dude.
Yeah, those were the days, man. Just when you were like so passionate for a game, you would just chill there till midnight.
Now we all have depression and don't want to play any games we have.
Despite having like
Ooh.
300 of them on Steam.
Bro.
Yeah. Did you guys buy anything from the
Steam
Steam
sales, man.
sale?
Nah, I've pretty much gotten just about everything like I ever wanted on Steam sales.
Pretty much.
I think I bought a couple, but only because they were games that
Oh,
like my
Labyrinthine.
friends. Yeah, Labyrinthine.
There you go. We're gonna try
Um,
Labyrinthine at some point.
No,
Other than that, like the group that I've been playing with, they just buy me games. They're like, hey, I play this game, so and so plays this game, or they just got this game. I bought you this game so you can play with us.
Imagine.
Oh God, dude, must be nice.
I know, it's like I have a sugar daddy for games. If you guys are interested in those style games, you know.
Oh, and sugar daddies? Yeah.
No, just the game.
Oh. Well, then no.
Well, it depends on the game, and
I'll buy you the
are
game.
we ever gonna be able to? Are we gonna ever be able to play a game together?
Yeah, that's another thing too. Are we ever going to
Good
be able to play a
question.
game
Alright.
together?
Do you want to play Labyrinthine sometime in the next 3 days?
Let's see. Can't do Tuesday,
This guy,
but
Mr. Big Twitch streamer.
All right.
Well, Tuesday's territory war for Conqueror's Blade.
Big Twitch
Um,
streamer.
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, that should be fine.
So I mean, I could play during the week. I would just only play for like an hour. Like Thursday,
Yep.
Thursday through Sunday. Obviously, we have podcasts, but
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays were middays off. So
Yep.
that would be best for me. But I could do like Thursday night, Friday night.
I could do it during my lunch hour too. I think that's before you go to work. See, my lunch hour. It would be like 10 your time.
Well, he wouldn't. He
When?
doesn't have Labyrinthine though.
You motherfucker,
10
get
o'clock
Labyrinthine.
when?
AM.
What day?
Any day. Motherfucker.
Monday,
Dog,
Tuesday, or
I
Wednesday.
normally,
Yeah.
I normally
Monday,
don't wake
Tuesday,
up till
Wednesday.
like 11.
Yeah.
Because I have
Um,
a third shift job, unlike you.
We could
You'd wake up for this though.
for that game. We could see if we could get Candy or Xena again. Is
Yeah.
that same Phasmophobia style?
Yeah.
Also,
is it 4-player or is it more?
I think it's 4.
I haven't checked. Let me check my library.
I also want to play Phas again at some point.
Yeah. We've been trying to play Faz for a while, but we just haven't been able to get the group together.
Yeah, let's just start another group chat with them. I am gonna end the podcast here. I'm hogging the bedroom and Carol works tomorrow. So
Yep.
thank you guys so much for watching as always. John, if you stay all the way to the end, shout out to you, big homie. we're gonna. So last week, obviously, we had to skip the week because of the issues, but still gonna try to do a weekly thing.
Yeah.
Any last minute thoughts, ladies?
No, that's about
No.
it, man.
All right. Signing off. Appreciate it.
Deuces.
Thanks for being here.
Bye.